Here we go. Hey guys, I'm with Mr. Rob Hazelwood. Dude, you're looking pretty dapper right now. Looks like you got a little sun over the weekend. Are you
Feeling
just
fresh.
still feeling all the feels after
Still
your
flush.
big still flush? Still
Still
flush. Dude,
flush.
first ever pro win. Talk about that. How's it feel?
Pretty pretty crazy. I mean, I kind of touched on it on my social media, but I've just always loved this sport. I've always watched the family. It's been everything. I've lived on a lake since I'm a kid. I'm not the kind of kid that was forced to do it and just kind of did it because he was kind of good at it. I just loved it from the get go. Other than people making me do tricks, there was like there's been just a deep love of pro tour and sports, and to be kind of my career started when the pro tour revamped, and to be sometimes close, sometimes not close in 2021, and to just finally hit the win is just crazy. It's something that like it's a possibility that you'll never win. It's a possibility that I'll still never run 41. They're my
Very,
two
very
goals,
much.
right? Like my main two are run 41 and win.
Yep.
And one of them is ticked off. And that is, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm an
Yep.
emotional
Check that
guy,
off.
but like as soon as I said like obviously everyone it
Oh,
was
come on.
exciting and
You're pretty excitable.
but no, I'm not emotional in like tears. And that was like probably the first time in a
Yeah.
very long time that I said, "Holy, you just won!" And I was like nearly teared up a little bit. Like it was a pretty emotional place for me, and I was like, "Wow, that's like this is crazy." And it wasn't until
Hey,
I read a what's the website that started doing all the stuff. I have
return
no
to
what it is.
baseline.
Return to
Baseline water
baseline.
ski.
They said that since the Pro Tour began, so like 2021, there's been the big four. They call it Will, Freddie, Nate, and Tigas. No one else has won a Pro Tour event. And you obviously had Cole that won Masters, which was a
What?
huge deal. And then you had me that has just won. So technically, because Masters isn't part of the Pro Tour, like this was the first time someone's not won a Pro Tour event that's not Will, Freddie, Tigas, or Nate, which is
Dude, is
crazy
that
and
is that
just
legit? Is that
I,
real?
I mean, think back, yeah. I mean, Freddie went
That's
podiumless
crazy.
last year. Nate pretty much didn't lose, like so. And obviously, Will wasn't there,
Wow.
but it was his decision not to be there. It's a 3 hour
Yep.
drive away. Um, Nate's off working and doing stuff, and like you said, there was a few people missing, but to be able to go out
The
there and beat the
Masters and the World
Masters
Champ.
champ and the world champ was, yeah, as I said, dream come true. Like that's everyone says it, and I don't know who means it, but I truly go to bed dreaming about water skiing 90% of the time. And to be able to win at something that I'm so passionate about is just something that I still haven't quite come to terms with.
It's going to take some time, but you got to let it sink in.
Oh yeah,
These are the days that you're really going to remember. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
this is important stuff right here.
oh yeah.
But before I want to talk about your history on the Pro Tour because
Mm-hmm.
it's been a couple of years. But before that, um, I would like to ask you why skiing is so important to you. What is it
Um,
about skiing,
I just it's been it right.
especially at this level? Now that you're at this level,
It's just been everything. It is everything that I've done. I was born at a lake ever since I was ever since I was born. My family has lived on Hazelwood Ski World, right on the lake, ever since I was born. Um, my brother skied, my mum skied, my dad skied, all to an enjoyment level. And then it was like this whole. It was like my family was like to enjoy it. And then obviously all I ever heard about was Will winning tours, winning this, doing that, world records 2 at 9, da da da, and Tom doing all the stuff he did, all the jump stuff, and it's like my whole life was just how to enjoy water skiing. And I think you know that, you see that, you spend a lot of time around me, and it's just my whole childhood was just special. That's all I can say. I think every single person who enjoys water skiing, who grew up at a lake, can truly say that. And I just loved it. And someone asked me a question the other day that you'll never know if it's an honest answer because I don't know. But they said, hey, if Pro Tour stopped right now, there was no more professional tournaments, would you still slalom? Definitive answer was yes, or still ski. I'd probably get my
Yeah,
jump
of
sticks out,
course.
you know.
Yep.
And that's like something, and I don't
Yep.
think that's true
Yep.
for some skiers on tour, you know. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a true love for my childhood, for my growing up, for the sport, for everything that it's done for me, for the life that it lets me live. It's just that's why water skiing. You know, there's nothing else like it.
Well, I think it shows for sure. A lot of people can tell. I think what's cool about you is that it's bigger than just the performance on the water. You enjoy every aspect of it. You're spreading your wings. You're getting into filmmaking. Picked up a camera. Starting to really perfect that craft. So it's not just about going around buoys for you. And I think if there's one takeaway from me, I would hope people see that
Yeah,
you're multi-dimensional skier, and I think that's
yeah,
important for anybody at any level to appreciate not just the act of trying to be the best skier, but also like there's community piece, there's other
yeah,
ways you can get involved, and there's ways to keep balance so that you're not just
yeah,
focused on your own skiing all the time. I think that's important.
yeah. And I think that's a big part of it is like the
So
crew out here, like at Jack's, like the crew that has obviously I loved skiing growing up, but then it would have been easy for me to move out to Florida, go ski on a private lake, and kind of just ski with someone or ski with a coach. But I'd say the biggest part of it, what you just said there, was like about enjoying it, and it's like the crew that I get to ski with, Jamie, John, Will, Tebow, Dorian, Cole McCormick, like all of it is just it's been such a special few years getting to know everyone in Florida, and kind of the crew that you build around you is so special. And it's like I'm literally 10 years old at the lake again, building a slack line across the trees and trying to jump off it and do all this stuff. You know, it's like, it's truly fun, but we're
yeah,
older, have cars, and go get
I,
ice cream ourselves now.
yeah, I know I've done that with you guys. You guys are like little kids when you get in the car for ice cream. Hey, what does Jax mean to you though? Like how important and how huge is the experience and the luxury of getting to train at Traverse Ski School, in the grand scheme for you and for your
I mean,
success, ultimately this most recent success, your first win.
yeah, I mean, a big part of it is the crew, right? The crew out here, the dock, the energy of skiing here. And it's just special. You know, they didn't have to take me on when I messaged out in 2020 and I was like, hey, can I come ski with you guys? They didn't have to say yes. You know, I could have, my whole life would have quite quickly changed. You know, and just been able to ski at, I think most people would agree, the best, one of whatever you want to say, best facilities in the world. With we drive each other with. I mean, we're all solid drivers. We drive each other. We ski together. We coach each other. We watch videos. We go to the cinema. We go get ice cream together. All of this stuff is like, and it's truly, yes, it's about the skiing. Yes, the lake's beautiful. Yes, the boats are fantastic. Yes, everything about the place is perfect. But the most special thing is the crew. You know, is the friends that we come out here. We train
Yeah,
and we banter about who's going to beat who on the day, who's got this on the wind, who's done this, me missing gates, all that stuff. That's what's special about this place
missing
is the
gates.
people. And oh my god, the gates this year has been after all the stick I've been
Should we
getting.
talk about?
We probably should.
I know, I know. Hey, before we get off track, can we talk
Yeah,
about your history on the Pro Tour? So, what was your first year? 2021?
20,
Is that the first
2021 was
year
my
on
first
tour?
US year. I did like 2 events before that.
Yeah. Okay. And just run us through quickly before we get up to this past weekend. What were the podiums? When did you podium on tour? How many and where were
2021,
they?
2021 out of nowhere, second in California Pro against Freddie, which was kind of deeming that
You
head to head
almost
again.
you almost won.
Yeah, run off, run
Multiple
off,
head
run
to
off.
heads,
Yeah,
runoffs.
and then I think I had nothing in 2022. I think I had a fourth somewhere, like 38. I think I had a fourth or a fifth. And then I think Miami, um, maybe somewhere I had a fourth. I think fourth was my best finish, no podiums. And that was kind of sucky. Trying to figure out, again, that was the first year where I had access to Florida, I had access to more skis, more equipment, and I kind of got lost in that
Yep.
excitement of it all, you know, I think. And then 2023 rolled around
Yeah.
last year, obviously, Swiss Pro, third place. I feel like I've missed a year. No, yeah, Swiss Pro third
I
place
know.
last year.
I
No, Swiss Pro was so from 2021 in California. Swiss Pro was the next year, which was the third, which was huge. After going a year without anything, to kind of start the year with a third was pretty crazy.
Yep.
And then Lake 38 was third again, back to back, and then went to Europe and just was a slogfest of some missed finals, some this end of the season missed a ton of finals. So it was a tough, and then with Worlds not going the way I wanted, was a tough end to 2021. And then to start out the season again, I mean, I just like the start of the season, apparently, but to start out the season again with
I know.
a
I
second
know.
at Swiss and then a first at
Second
Lake 38
place.
is huge.
Yep.
It's huge for sure.
Yeah, it's big. That's big, man. Like you said, people can go a long time without, or they can go forever without winning a pro event, right? You can be
Yeah.
so proficient in slalom, especially men's slalom seems to always historically be so tough. And I guess the question is, what what allowed you to get to that place this year? What do you think? What are the changes you made in the last 6 months, or what are some of the factors that got you to where you were able to consistently get to three buoy at 41 last weekend when a lot of people were struggling?
I don't know. It's you learn for the past. I think the way that I've been trying to say it this year is for the past 4 years I've come into every season in a different spot. First year I had no idea what I was doing. I just was pure luck. It's pure luck. It was like I had no idea what I was doing. Somehow managed to get to three consistently, and that was when the standard was lower, so three was in guaranteed. There was if you got a three, boom, you were into the finals with a relaxed day, probably third, fourth seed. Um, 2022 came around and it was like, oh, you're skiing better now. You're getting through 39 every time. You're getting some starts, but you've now had this whole thing last year. You're guaranteed to be good this year. 2023 rolled around last year and I was getting way more down it. At the end of the season, I was starting to that was the year I said to me, run some more 41s, not that many, but run them more of them, getting to four consistently. And I started to feel like, boom, this 41 is the move. I'm going to run it. It's going to be this year. It just didn't. I started to get halves, twos, one and a halves. Like through Europe, a lot of one and a halves, which as a rider is not good. It's not acceptable as a pro skier. And this year it came in so
Yeah.
differently again. It was like all of a sudden now this year it kind of popped on a new ski and maybe I was getting less fives and sixes for a while, but all of a sudden you're getting three consistently, and it's like okay, I'm technically skiing kind of worse, but then I'm also skiing kind of better consistency wise. So I kind of said that to a few people. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's tough. Like, do I look for, especially like this is setup wise, do you look for something that is aggressive and can get you to run it, but you get one and a half 50% of the time, or do you get something that is dialed towards three and you just figure out how to stop flying off the handle and skiing straight to the ball? We know what I decided on, right? And I've just got to figure out how to put that mindset into tournament. But that's the biggest change has been
Yep. Yep.
the threes have been more plentiful. The 39s have been ran in a lot weirder conditions. The consistency has just been there this year. I'm on a bigger ski, which has been awesome to find a 67 or a large that works for me. And just to be able to
Can we
be able to
can we talk
feel like I can,
can we talk about that?
yeah,
The ski?
yeah. You're
Might as
you're
well.
the
I
manager now.
mean,
You can tell
we're
me what I'm allowed to say. um,
I think it's fine. Obviously, people know that we're always, the R&D is a continuous process.
yeah,
But yeah, you are writing the newest work, so too.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, and
and it's interesting to see you do what you're doing on it.
yeah. I mean, we did some testing in the fall last year after Worlds. I came out to California to do FPM stuff, and we ended up obviously skiing. Like I had zero plans on skiing. Like, bring a ski, maybe have a set or two. Hardcore testing for like 3 weeks in 50-degree weather, and that
Yep.
I
In
learned
the
a lot
cold.
from that. Yeah, I learned a lot from that, and then received
Yep.
this ski in March, and just pretty much from the get go, every single person who rode it, kind of '01 guys included, were like, "Wow, this thing is good." And took a minute. I've learned
Yep.
a hell of a lot about skis from riding this ski, and just
Yeah.
the differences, the changes that it's been
Yep.
on, And yeah, it's the new O2, and it's money. That's and that it's hard for me to say because last year I was so excited about the ski before I went to Europe, and that was where the test was really shown. Different lakes, different places, different this, different that.
Yeah,
But the 2.4 is a savior, which I maybe didn't have last year, um, and that
yeah,
position through there was just to be able to get out of the two in a little bit more consistent manner at 41. And it's just, as you can see from watching me in tournament, it's putting me into three in a very different spot. Very different spot. I'm earlier, I'm lighter, but I'm
yeah.
then flying off because I get excited that I'm going to run it. And it's just plopping me in a different
Got
spot
to
in the
calm
course,
down.
in a way better spot. And it's exciting, that
Yeah,
it's lots of small changes that add up to make a very different feeling ski, and it's pretty awesome.
yeah, yeah. I think that's a big takeaway for a lot of skiers. Obviously, we don't have much. Not everybody dedicates their whole life to skiing, right? A lot of people
Yeah,
listening don't do that. They're looking for what are one or two things that I can really focus on that'll help me become a better skier or move the needle, get another couple buoys this season, right?
yeah,
But I think the honest answer is it's doing a bunch of the right little things, um, and just choosing the right little things because you can only do
yeah,
so many.
yeah.
There's only so many hours in the day. But I have a question because you won the strongest pole award every round at the Swiss Pro. I'm just wondering how your body's feeling after that and
Yeah.
how you're holding up because
And I
obviously you
think
still look strong this last
I
weekend.
think if we'd have had that
So
at like 38, I think I'd have also won it. I tried really hard. So did Caldwell, though.
I
In
think so.
fairness, um, honestly, it's
True.
holding up.
True.
It's kind of holding up as good as ever. Um, it's I
Yeah.
haven't had to
Good.
stop skiing, if that's the answer. Like, it's like the body feels good. And the real test is how many days have you had to take off? Have you had to take, for me, 2 years ago, I was
Yeah.
having issues with, I'd be good, but as soon as I'd get something, I'd have to then stop for 4 days to let a rib recover or a trap or a pec or something would get
Yeah.
annoyed and flick you off the water for 4 or 5 days. And touch wood, I feel very sore this morning, the day after like 38. I woke up, my lats were very sore. But the biggest thing has not been.
Yeah. You just won yesterday. It's barely been 24 hours since you
I was
won.
talking big talk
It's
yesterday. I was
literally
like,
been
oh,
24 hours.
John's gonna like, oh, you're not gonna ski. I'm not skiing tomorrow. And I was like, oh, I am 100%. I go home tomorrow. Da, 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 da. And I woke up this morning. No, I can't. I gotta take a day off. But no, honestly, the body's
Not
holding
doing
up
it.
well, and
Not
that's
doing it.
no, and that's where having something under my feet that's been a little bit more, um, in a weird way, has more drive. It has more pressure, has more feedback, um, and way more. I can be more aggressive with it. I can trust it more to shut down. It's actually caused less strain on my body because I'm getting less weird hits in a way, and then kind of the work
Yeah.
off water on top of all that, the mobility, the movement, the shoulders, the stuff that's kind of been hopefully growing over the last 3 years is really helping all this stay somewhat in one piece. But yeah, strongest
Yeah.
pull. I need that to
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
back because it's a good money maker. I like it.
I know. I know. It's a nice little bonus cash.
It
Do you know how
yeah,
many ice
very much.
creams that's worth? It's at least a hundred ice cream trips.
Probably
Hey,
about
so
that.
what's going on for the rest of the season? I know. Let's talk about the next couple of months. So it's June 3rd. It's Monday. You just won first pro win ever yesterday. Of course, this probably won't come out till tomorrow. But what's the rest of the season look like? You're getting ready to head home in a couple days, back
Busy.
to England, and then what?
I go
Then what?
home Wednesday. We go. I'll be at home for 14 days, I think, and that's just going to be getting used to slightly colder water again that we have in Europe. I mean, we're going to Morocco, which is not going to be cold, I guess, but just to kind of head home and recharge, resettle, and then we go to Morocco. Then pretty much straight away from Morocco, I'm very excited for that one. I think without Greece this year on the tour, I think this one's almost going to replace it as like hey, we're organizing everything. You just have to show up and we'll take care of the fun, and that everyone's really excited for.
Yeah.
Then within the next
Yeah.
week, we go to France for the Fungless Pro. We then go to France again for Monaco into the south of France. Then we fly across to Madrid. So within 4 tournaments, we're going to have 1, 2, 3 practice rides, 4 practice rides. We'll have literally one set. We'll be in 3 different countries, and we'll have one set in between each tournament, probably at best. So that's 2 weeks if you don't count the practice rides. If you don't count the tournament rides with 4 sets, which is kind of
Yeah.
gnarly,
Wow.
A lot of different drivers, a lot of
Yep.
different boats, a lot of different ropes, a lot of different everything that's involved into it is the biggest challenge of it all, and that's where it's tough, and then I luckily have a week off. I have my
So
cousin's wedding, and then we go again in England, which is I'm super excited for. But it's essentially 4 or 5 weeks straight for most people
yeah,
of just
home turf.
going ham.
So we're gonna keep checking in. I feel like we should
Yeah.
do some of these when you're in Europe, if you have time.
Yeah.
Let's try to do a couple of these. Just wrap up
like it.
after in
Yeah.
between events. Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
But we're not done yet because I
Talk
have 2
about some other
questions.
people next time
The
as well.
first question. Yeah, exactly. So the first question, we're going to get to that
John
before we
ruining
leave.
it.
First question. Oh, look at the guy.
John.
I know, he's fine. Oh, no. He just turned this
See?
into an explicit podcast. Hey,
Have to
see?
mute that.
Just one. All it took was one word. I know. Hey, question. So ropes and driving and different conditions. You just talked about that for Europe. What do you think about the re-rides last weekend and about the amount of re-rides due to poor boat path? And should that punish the skier? We saw where
No.
a boat path that was supposedly good for the skier and the skier's advantage, and then, like, for instance, Jamie, she couldn't advance. Should that rule be changed?
Yes, obviously. I think every single person on the dock this weekend, even the winners, would quite happily say, like Tebow. I think obviously Jamie's a good example. Tebow's another great example. He got 2 at 41, just inside 3. He came 2 was a pretty rolly boy. There was quite a bit of movement in front of that. And as a lefty, that's tough. He comes in out of 41, gets a solid 1, good enough to get there, goes to commit at 2, and falls out the back. And that just means that the boat's moved into him late, right? You have rollers, you're already nervous, you lose that rope, you have nothing. It's literally marginally inside 3, almost lays it out, nearly gets around it. And again, none of this comes on the drive. We make mistakes. The driving is not easy. You're sitting in that boat for however many skiers. I drive 3 skiers, and I'm 3 high-level skiers, and all of a sudden I'm like, where are these numbers coming from? This is not on the driver. It's the fact that a mistake that is made should not then punish Tebow and go, hey, you get to go again, but no, is it? I don't even know if it's protected or not. I think they protect you at 1 or something, and then hey, but you got to go again. You're protected here, stupid. But you can only get 2 again. So it's like I'm like, if as the person who won the event, if Tebow would have gone out again, had good numbers, and then got 3, he deserves to be in the runoff. Jamie, she messed up, but the deviation was at 2, I believe. Again, boat moves late, comes into it. She had a 25 or 26 or whatever it was. She's up here with the handle. You get used to something to pull on in the turn. You pull on it.
So just for people who don't quite know what you may be talking about, you're talking about SurePath numbers, and that's a system that's telling the boat driver where they are at each boat guide.
Yeah.
And supposedly, obviously, we know as drivers that if the boat's closer to the buoy, that should be easier for the skier to get around the buoy. But it doesn't indicate when the boat's moving. And if the boat's moving into the skier to get that number as the skier is trying to come back in behind the boat, like you said, that could have been a situation where it makes it harder for the skier to execute a turn. These rules where, a bad boat path in favor of the skier means the skier can't advance or can't improve their score. Not relevant anymore. We should maybe be thinking about changing that.
No, and I get that. Someone had a good point that when it first came out, the reason they brought that in because I think the example was Will got loose line at 1, pulled all the way to 2, and pulled the boat over. But SurePath is a different skill of driving. It is a different, not level. Level's not the right word. It's a different thing. It's like driving with zero off and with handheld.
Different
It's
game.
technically you're doing the same thing, but it's all completely different. And short path is another iteration of that, in that
Yep.
it's a skill to learn how to drive short path. All of the drivers out there now have had enough
Yeah.
time with short
Yeah.
path.
Yeah.
Everyone pretty much has short path or boat tracking system, whatever you want to use. But it's that those kind of problems are becoming less common. So to me, we're punishing the skier for one possible outcome that I haven't seen in a long time. I often it's like my 39 was out that I ran. Jamie's 39 was out that she fell at, but she's not pulling the boat around. Tebow again, a good one, messed up at two. That's all the examples. There was one more somewhere along the way this weekend, I think, but
That's
none of
cute.
that was the
That's cute.
skier
You're saying
pulling.
Jamie's not pulling the boat around.
Oh, I drive her. She's, but you know what I mean. I think yes, I get
She's not
that
going to
that was a
appreciate that.
mistake back
Yeah.
then, but now it's like I don't see the skier. The drivers are a lot better at driving with shore path, and then it's now becoming a mistake that the boat is out, not that the skier pulled the boat. You know, and that is what it is, and
Yep.
it should not
Yep.
then punish the skier for that. And I see no reason why Tebow wasn't allowed to go out there and go, hey, you get a 3, you're good. You know, we messed up. That's okay. That's fine. You go again, you know? But I don't know. I don't know if that'll ever
So
change. It is what it
let's
is.
finish out real quick because yeah, no, I hear you. Let's finish out. I know you have to get going. You're going to meet some folks for dinner. Sounds awesome. But
Wish you were here.
Masters, who I know, I wish I was there too. So the Masters, who what one or two skiers, rapid fire answers, one or two skiers that surprised you at the Masters, women or men, slalom, jump, trick, I don't care. I just want your opinion. One or two skiers that surprised you at Masters
Cole McCormick
in a good
has to
way or a
be.
bad way.
Cole McCormick has to be said. That guy's just, I mean, we all, whatever, one round, sweet, good job. You won 30 on the Masters, you held on. Fantastic. You know, that is what it is.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah.
To then go out top seed. I love the guy. I ski with him nearly every single day. To go out there top seed at Masters when again he'd never won a pro event. This is like new ground for him. Top seed. You have Will Asher out before you, gets 4.5 to then go and stomp a 39 and literally stomp himself on the face afterwards. But like to go out there top seed and go do that is one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Confidence wise, ability wise, just everything about that situation was insane. And then I guess another one is Joel Poland, not to go for two guys, but Joel Poland just, I mean, looked fairly unstoppable on a pair of jump skis there. You know, a great tricker, great slalomer, but the way that he attacked Robin Lake with a ton of poise and just, hey, I'm going to throw a 230 out there and, you know, make it not look that hard. That was pretty damn incredible to watch. You know, just to see that again. All of the events seem to have this young upbringing coming through, and to see people struggling. It was noticeably rough conditions, and to see Joel float out a 230, and obviously Dodd went 232 in the finals as well. It was doable, but from a lifelong one of my best friends, that was pretty crazy to see for sure.
What about Lake 38 to finish it out? Who after the two rounds, the prelim rounds in the finals, who were you most worried about that was just going to put one out there in that final round?
Caldwell, big time. You never know. Flip a coin. Who knows? You know, he's proven to be incredible, and he's dangerous. When he gets out of that 2-ball, you know he's going to go ham. Cole, you can't not. I ski with him every day.
Okay, well, in that case, what about Caldwell's gate? Have you watched his gate at 41?
Yeah, interesting comment that was the best skate of the set. That I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if, but then it's very easy to forget. It's very easy to, maybe he liked the swing, maybe he liked the drive in, maybe there was something there that he liked. It's hard for me to judge someone on what they say after a tournament because I know the random stuff that sometimes comes out. But very narrow, very slow, and I get what he's trying to do. I understand that, and with his setup, he can attack differently than we do. Whether that's right or wrong is up for discussion, and this is a discussion that I quite enjoy. You know, that's what we'll do. We'll talk about that kind of stuff. But
yes, sir.
Yeah, his head was on the tip of the ski, so I don't
And Cole.
quite. And
Yeah.
and Cole was. I mean, Cole. I mean, that guy's just
Yeah.
a machine, right? He's a 4 ball all day when he gets out of that too, and he looked good in
Yeah.
round 2. And obviously Lucas,
Yeah.
I train with him out here at Jack's a lot, and it's yeah, you saw it, right? It's one of the most insane things you've seen. He's 18 years old, has
Yeah.
absolutely no fit. I mean, I see him like he does like to blow the fin, which is an obvious an obvious problem,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he will go. He'll go smash 1 ball and just blow up, head, shoulders fly everywhere. I'd be done, home my ankle, and probably crying, oh, I'm glad I'm safe. And
Yeah.
then he'll go, okay, take me again, and go run 5 or go run it or go like there is no fear, there is almost no thought there. It's 2 keys. It's the epitome of 2 keys, and I go ham with it. And that's all I think about. That's all I attack. And
Yeah.
that kid is going to be the way that he came into that 3 ball in the finals and tried to turn it when he knows. Like I blow the fin once a month, and I get scared of then blowing the fin for the rest of the month. It sticks in me. It's like do not like
Yeah.
it's a surefire way to
Yeah.
end your set. And he knows that he blows the fin. He did it in round
Yeah.
1. He knows he does it in practice, and he came into that 3 ball like in round 2. He came into the 3 ball knowing that if he falls there, he's out of the final. You stand up, you're guaranteed in for a slot.
Yep.
And he just went, I'm going to turn it, and
He wanted to
obviously
run it.
it worked for him. It worked for him in round 2, but then in the final, it ate him up. But the mentality on that is a
That's
lesson to be learned.
experience. That's experience, but he's
It's
one to
experience.
watch out for sure.
It's experience ruining us, right? That's the. I remember when I came out at
Yeah.
Swiss and turned the 3 ball. My first year, it was like I didn't know what to do, so I just turned it. I'm like, I don't know what the score's going to be. I just went. And it's almost like for me, experience
Yeah.
has ruined me. I have too many experiences of falling at 3 or missing a cut here because I tried to turn it or this or
Yeah.
that. This. He's just young, fresh, and goes, well, I run down 41 most of the time in practice. Why not in round 2 when I need to make the cut? It's like, why not? Just go. And
Yeah.
mighty
Yeah. Yeah.
impressive.
Well, Rob, I want to say thanks for joining. I think this conversation, especially the end where you talked about some of these other skiers who you ski against and who you also admire, I think that's just a testament to you still feeling like you're a fan, even though you are now one of the contenders because you just had your first pro win. And that's apparently only the second different person other than the top 4 to win since 2021. And that's an insane stat. So congrats for that.
It could be
I want to
wrong,
thank you
but
again. I
am I
know,
wrong? Did
maybe not.
Brando win thing? No, he knocked Nate out, but he didn't win. That was it.
Maybe
Sorry. If I'm wrong, let us know because I could be
he's
wrong. I
another
could be wrong,
contender.
but
Yeah.
argue with the
Comment below if we're wrong.
yeah.
And
Either way
and
counts.
if you want to learn more about FPM, if you want to learn more about FPM and what's keeping Rob in one piece, check the link down below. Rob, let's do another one of these when you're in Euroland. All
I
right,
love
bud?
it. Sounds like a plan. Thank you, man.
So, hey, soak it up. Enjoy the heck out of these vibes and this feeling and this accomplishment because it's really, really big.
Thank
And
you.
it's a defining moment. And we are stoked to be a part of it. So,
Thank you. A
yeah,
huge
buddy.
part of it. Appreciate all the support. Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Do we stop?